Hello, everybody. I am Pulin Parikh. I am the Managing Director of Dillinger Middle East. We have been operating in the Jebel Ali Free Zone since 1999, so it will be 25 years next year. We are a 335-year-old steel company set up in 1685. So we have a great legacy and history behind us. The plant continues to operate at the same location that it was set up at. It is one of the premier producers of steel plate in the world. We produce about 5 million tons of steel with a turnover of almost 5 billion euros and employ about 15,000 people worldwide. In the Middle East, we cover a vast geography from here. We keep steel on the ground here in the Jebel Ali Free Zone, and we cover a vast swathe of geography from Africa to the Far East, including the Middle East and the Indian subcontinent. As far as Jafza is concerned, we have had a long relationship with them going back to the year we started in 1999, 24 years ago. They have been extremely supportive and proactive with us, assisting us as we have grown over the years by giving us all the help and support required to do so. We keep 25,000 tons of steel on the ground, and we are extremely happy that they have helped us, providing us extra space and land whenever we have requested them for it. So our gratitude to Jafza is immense, and we thank them from the bottom of our hearts for their help and support. The Jebel Ali Free Zone, Jafza has also supported us in our supply chain endeavors. They have been very supportive of us in terms of getting our cargo cleared, helping us with the movement of cargo across the region by offering their services to us in a timely and efficient manner. So we are in some sense also grateful to Jafza for helping us expand regionally and also internationally by using their platforms and their DP World support services over the last few years now. The facility here at the Jebel Ali Free Zone, where we keep almost 25,000 tons of steel on the ground, is unique in many ways. We have 3 magnetic cranes, DMAC cranes, that basically are unique to the region. There are very few other companies like us, or certainly nobody in the steel stockholding business that offers these services. These are magnetic cranes that help lift the steel plates across the warehouse, and also to deliver them onto flatbed trucks and containers to ship them off to our customers. Steel plates, as you know, can weigh anything from 1,000 kgs to 100,000 kgs. So we are unique in the sense that we're able to do this extremely smoothly and efficiently. And for that, again, we are grateful to Jafza for helping us set up the facilities when we set them up, and for giving us the additional support in terms of land and all the other support requirements for operating something of this magnitude. So Dillinger globally has set up a task force to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. So in the first phase, starting now, between now and 2027, we essentially have acquired 1 green steel manufacturing facility in France. So we've started out with some small steps. We've started to decrease the consumption of coal and coke that we use and increase the consumption of hydrogen. And this process will continue over the next 1, 2, or 3 years. In the interim, the entire project of converting to carbon neutral steel manufacturing is spread over the next 25 odd years, is capital intensive, will cost the upwards of 3 billion euros, which will be funded by internal accruals, by EU funding from the EU, as well as the German government funding. What we will do between 2027 and 2030 is again set up 2 more electric arc furnaces, 1 direct reduced iron facility, and again continue to increase the consumption of hydrogen and reduce the consumption of coal and coke. We will also step up the use of green and renewable energies in our steel manufacturing process. By 2030, we hope to achieve 60 to 70% carbon neutrality. Between 2030 and 2045, we will continue this process by setting up more green steel manufacturing, increasing the renewable energy consumption, and eventually reach 80 to 90% carbon neutrality by 2045. And between 2045 and 2050, we hope to cover the last mile and achieve complete carbon neutrality by 2050. The essential process here is reducing the consumption of coal and coke and replacing it with green hydrogen, reducing the amount of energy we consume from fossil fuels, and using green energy and renewable energy in our manufacturing operations. So this process, as I said, has been spread over the next 2.5 decades, and we are following a strict timeline to ensure that we complete this in the project in the time frame specified. We have undertaken 2 specific initiatives to reduce the amount of environmental emissions that we emit into the atmosphere. One of them happens to be covering the steel plant, which is the greatest polluting part of our facility, with an additional dome that captures the gases and all of the dust that is generated in the steel making process. This helps in reducing the amount of emissions into the atmosphere, and whatever is emitted into the atmosphere is far cleaner. The second initiative that we have undertaken is essentially increase the amount of renewable energy that we consume, and in this process a lot of gases are produced in the facility and in the steel making process. These gases could otherwise be expelled into the atmosphere, but because of the fact that we intend to move towards sustainable and renewable energy, we are consuming these gases and generating power to power the facility. So 2 specific initiatives that I mentioned we have undertaken to reduce the amount of the environmental impact of steel making at our location. The principal ingredient in steel manufacturing is the use of reducing the iron ore into molten steel, and in doing so we add coal and carbon into the iron ore mix. This is what causes the greatest amount of carbon emissions. The initiative that we intend to do along with the R&D setup that we have on site is to increase the amount of hydrogen we will use to reduce the iron, to reduce the solid iron ore into liquid metal. So the key process is to completely replace the carbon emitting part of our steel making process with green hydrogen, which will completely eliminate carbon emissions and bring us to carbon neutrality. So we are working very closely with our in-house R&D team and with the universities in the region we operate to achieve this goal. So out of the overall R&D budget that we have, we intend to invest 20 to 25% of our overall R&D budget into ensuring that we develop new processes for green steel making and to reduce the environmental impact of steel making. Over the past 2 decades that Dillinger has been operating here in the Middle East, we have been involved with several iconic projects across the region, including in the UAE. To name a few, we have been involved with the Ain Dubai project, where the structure has been supplied by Dillinger, the plates have been supplied by Dillinger, and the entire structure is therefore fabricated using our plates. We have also been involved in the One Zabil project, which is another iconic office and commercial tower, which is under construction and is likely to be operational by the end of the year. We have supplied unique product into this market for that project, something that has not been used in the past for such civil engineering and construction projects. We have also been involved in the clock tower in Mecca. We work with several oil and gas companies in the region for their petrochemical refining and oil storage and transportation projects. So we are involved in many parts and aspects of the local and regional economy, and we will continue to do so in the years to come. Another important feature of Dillinger, not just in the region but also across the world, is that the length of stay of our employees. Most of our employees are long-serving employees. They usually start their careers with us and finish with us as well. The average age of our employees here at Dillinger Middle East in the Dubai office is in excess of 15 years. Back at our plant in Europe, there are employees who are 3rd or 4th generation employees. So we take great pride in this, that our employees stay with us for their entire working life and continue to do so across generations as well.